I feel so empowered as a vegan activist. Since going vegan I am starving. For more knowledge on how to save the planet from the deadly and real #climate crisis through grassroots, not co-opted controlled opposition, #activism and #climate action.
One thing, which is that you mentioned $130 trillion.
105, I think it is.
105. I have $130 trillion in my mind because that is the amount of assets under management that are going to be handed over in the next 5 years to the millennials. And in a way that to me is maybe some real hope, because money is going to have to be invested in those green projects.
I can sleep comfortably knowing that the grown-ups at the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, the IMF, the UN and World Bank are working hard to educate you all and bring solutions to the real and imminent #climate crisis that is our fault for being alive and not sterilizing ourselves and not listening to the superior people on the television screen.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
I want to be a socially acceptable and approved global citizen like all the activists at the Free Global Citizen Festival in New York City. So I did some research on what the amazing 16-year-old human shield Greta Thunberg wants us to do for #climate action.
Greta, could you please tell us what kind of message, what you are doing here today, what kind of message would you send by doing this to world leaders? And also can I ask you, do you think it's about time that President Trump would respond to what you have said today?
I think... I'm sorry, what was the first question?
What's the message you would like to
send
to our leaders by doing what you are doing?
I think what we want to send is, the message we want to send is to say that we have had enough. And anyone else wants to answer that question? I can't speak on behalf of everyone.
Anyone wants to answer about the message to world leaders?
I think maybe you should give some questions to the others as well.
What a bully. Why, how comes did the mean grown-up pick on the poor innocent 16-year-old human shield? I don't hate children. I am not a bigot. I want #climate action now, and if that's not clear enough I let the World Resources Institute answer those grown-up questions. Bill Gates is a major benefactor of the Extinction Rebellion movement and close friend of philanthropist champion of science, Jeffrey Epstein. He is a grown-up who knows our house is on fire, and he is warning us that we need to take #climate action by helping the philanthropists at the IMF and World Bank to give sustainable loans that help destabilize nations in places where there are all those extra people. We can help these uneducated climate change driving extra people to help us to stop the #climate crisis by giving their resources to global corporations and banks who can then educate them on institutionalized infanticide and make them grow GMO crops so we enlightened vegans can import it for our nutrient-fortified plant-based kibble.
The Africans ought to get to decide which crops they grow and which ways and which seeds.
The strongest analogy is to medicines, and is there something to worry about with medicines? That is, might some of them have side effects? Do we need safety testing? I mean, and we're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein. So, yeah, I think maybe we should have a safety system where we, do trials and test things out. The idea, though, that you would take a technique that promises to solve nutrition problems, solves productivity problems, solves crop disease problems for African farmers, where it's absolutely a life and death issue for them. And you would say, oh, nothing that uses that technique should possibly use. And it's so random. What's considered in GMO and what's not considered GMO. Irradiating things. And
I trust this grassroots organizer, Bill Gates, friend of philanthropist Jeffrey Epstein, knows what's best. I am not afraid of science and progress. It's too complicated for me and I am too confused to come up with my own opinions. I let the grown-ups like Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein do the hard thinking. I hope Greta Thunberg told Obama, when they met, that he and John Podesta should use vegan Beyond Meat hot dogs next time they need $65,000 of hot dogs from Chicago for a private party at the White House. That will help Bill Gates and global financiers fight the hashtag climate crisis emergency even more better.
Hey, what's that gadget?
Global
Television?
citizens breaking news. Some naughty indigenous animal-abusing non-vegan troublemakers in Ecuador are making bad time for good grown-up President Moreno, who has declared a state of emergency that removes limits to government power and allows full censorship of all media in the country. These bigots making it hard for Moreno to help the planet don't know that they must want sustainable IMF-loan dictated austerity measures to make them austere. They don't understand that it will save the planet if these extra unnecessary people pay more for fuel so their government can sell off all the nation's fuel, minerals, water, and land to the Fortune 100 corporations and members of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development for pennies. These President Moreno-phobic bigots should focus on the good news, that they get to pay more than twice as much for fuel and they'll get discounts on Bayer Monsanto pesticides and microfinance loans from the World Bank and Bill Gates to buy mandatory pharmaceutical products for their children's health and industrial machines that can destroy their soil and cover it in nutrients like pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides so they can grow sustainable patented corn instead of the thousands of varieties of local heirloom foods. This is what's best for them, and the planet. I just wish Moreno would adopt mandatory veganism for these Ecuadorians. These indigenous people don't know a plant-based diet is what is best. I'm hoping Moreno and the UN help us animal rights activists to stop them from keeping chickens, goats, sheep, and cows because they have a lot of able-bodied people who could be growing soy and corn for me. Earthling Ed, Joey Carbstrong and the rest of the newly formed Animal Rebellion. We will update you more on this developing situation in Ecuador as things develop. I'm exhausted and need a nap. All this rebellious and trendy cool vegan activism is so cutting edge. Tomorrow me and my new friends at Animal Rebellion are going to take over a massive meat market in London and the government and police will likely do absolutely nothing but temporarily detain a few of us. We are so excited, it will be so lit. We cannot wait to force everyone to go vegan to save the planet. First me and Joey Carbstrong, another vegan activist, will take hashtag climate action and go shopping for some plant-based kibble. After my mid-morning nap I feel so happy and nourished, empowered, and satiated for purchasing a sustainable lunch of shrink-wrapped plant-based pesticide-fortified GMO kibble from patented GMO wheat grown by Africans, paying off massive IMF loans thanks to the Rockefeller Foundation and Bill Gates' brave generous philanthropy. This sustainable mass-produced kibble is so much tastier and more nourishing and more ethical than real food. I don't miss animal foods at all. I am completely content with this lifestyle.
Super easy to be vegan in most places on Earth. That's the chip section. Don't even know if we want to go down there. Do we? Not really. I don't really go down there. Oh, except if you ever get any of this. We love the love corn. This stuff here, even though it's fried in oil, good for a little treat. These are vegan too. Look, like, I can't actually eat too much granola because it's so tasty. But Jordan's, you're pretty, just check when it comes to buying cereal, just check for honey. We don't want to exploit bees. So these Jordan ones are pretty good. Jordan Crisp and in here. These are vegan. I've only just seen these. They look pretty good. Amazing. Let's have a look over here on the back of this. Sugar, rice flour, emulsified wheat flakes, maple syrup flavoring. Look, They're made out of plants, all right? So just took me 1 second to realize that as well. Healthy stuff. I eat lots of oats. I eat so much oatmeal. It's crazy.
I am so mentally healthy and happy like this vegan activist. It is acceptable to me to eat so much oats all the time and never eat real animal foods again. The World Business Council for Sustainable Development member corporations make the best Roundup fortified GMO plant-based kibble that makes my tummy smile pretty colors inside. I've learned so much about how to purchase and consume sustainable kibble from this dope and lit activist, Joey Carbstrong. He taught me that McDonald's is helping us to save the planet from the hashtag climate crisis and the animal holocaust.
Cause you know that I'm a vegan. I ain't eating no beef, no pork, no fish, no chicken. Now people think I'm tripping cause I ain't eating no dairy, no eggs. But I stay well fed off the fruits and the veg cause I care about the animals and the environment. I care about my health. If it ain't vegan, I ain't buying it. I care about the planet. If it doesn't, we gon' die with it. People hating veganism without even trying it.
Alright, so here we are in UK McDonald's. Yes, that's right, we're in McDonald's. I know I'm a vegan, but there's some stuff at the UK McDonald's that you can get that is vegan friendly, okay? The fries, they're not fried in any of the oil, so you don't have to worry about cross-contamination. I think they're fried in grapeseed oil or something like that. But then we've got the burger, okay? So the burger, this is a veggie deluxe with no mayonnaise, no cheese. And it's got, I add tomato sauce instead of the mayonnaise. This is vegan friendly here in the UK. Also, the apple pie. So the apple pie is vegan here in the UK. I've got a Sprite here. Now, we prefer them to not use plastic, so to say I don't want any plastic. We carry around our little glass straw. Boom. So anyone who's worried about buying vegan options at McDonald's, I wouldn't worry about it. I would support the vegan options where you can. Let them know that you're vegan at McDonald's, because if they bring a McVegan burger out, like you don't have to alter the vegetarian burger. You can just bring they bring a specific McVegan burger out. That would be amazing for animals.
That is so amazing for the animals. I can't wait to save the planet by eating McDonald's when I fly to the UK to join the animal rebellion that I learned about from Plant-Based News and Joey. Let's learn more about how to be an empowered grassroots hashtag vegan activist from this mentally and physically healthy role model.
Now it's time. It's time for us to rise up and rebel. Rebel in solidarity with animals and against the climate crisis. To join forces with Extinction Rebellion and highlight the injustice of animal agriculture and the contribution it makes to climate change.
We cannot end the climate emergency without first declaring the animal emergency. There will be no climate rebellion without animal rebellion. It is our duty to raise the alarm and rebel. We say, act now.
The establishment elite are so afraid of this grassroots extinction rebellion against the real and imminent death threats from the hashtag climate crisis emergency that the global media company Forbes says pension funds, NGOs, governments, and big banks should invest trillions of dollars in sustainable finance and support these badass rebellious and cool rebels in their quest to save the planet by getting rid of all the toxic CO2 emitting disgusting humans who won't listen to the people on the TV and stop breeding and using resources.
For it is those who currently perpetuate these systems of violence who could one day be the same people to end them. We need to tell them why. We need to educate them. We need to show them. That is why we're here today.
I am trembling and tingling from listening to this effeminate gelfling named Earthling Ed. The not co-opted and truly anti-establishment animal rebellion and extinction rebellion will stop the climate crisis and give delicious sustainable nutrient-fortified plant-based replacement food and IMF loans and conditions to all those CO2-producing Africans and South Americans who are ruining the climate with their toxic babies and their livestock. I am so glad that these youth are fighting with the grown-ups at the Rockefeller Foundation, the UN, Bayer Monsanto, Unilever, Kellogg's, IKEA, Walmart and the World Bank to save the planet.
But we are rising. We are stronger than we have ever been, and we will see that vegan world. because we will not stop until we make it happen.
I'm exhausted and hungry from larping in the streets with all these woke-ass divorced promiscuous wine moms and boomers, petulant pilled-out millennials, and vacant zoomers. I haven't eaten in under an hour. Let's take some #climate action now and have an unnecessary late-night vegan snack made by third-world debt slaves. I feel so good about helping those CO2 off-gassing extra people over there who make my food to decrease their atrocious carbon footprint. The IMF loans that allow them to grow the GMO plants for my cheap, high-markup fortified kibble will save the planet from the toxic human babies by destabilizing their countries with a repressive puppet government police state, and making them poor and desperate so they give their minerals, water, land, and resources to the corporate members of the World Business Council on Sustainable Development for pennies. I hope Bill Gates Foundation provides them with microfinance for reproductive health services infanticide as well. Maybe plant-based news has a new fake vegan cheese recipe to help me suppress this nagging feeling that I'm being deceived and used by a giant global marketing campaign for a high-tech Bolshevik, Maoist-style revolution on behalf of the Fortune 100 and global finance.
I actually came here this morning to call out the racism that is inherent in the U.S. dietary guidelines.
Drinking milk is racist. I'm not a bigot. I feel so good about my vegan activism. This is what is best for everyone. I am fighting the man. I am not being duped. I am not a useful idiot being co-opted by something I am too ignorant, self-indulgent, and distracted to understand. I just need some truly enjoyable vegan comfort products that mimic real animal foods with plants grown by the extra people who the grown-ups on the TV taught me need to stop existing. This will stop me from thinking so much and numb me to reality so I can take more #climate action.
Today we're going to be cooking up Mexican pizzas. Really delicious. So the first thing we do is make a spicy bean mixture. So Mexican pizzas are in a sense a nice crispy tortilla with a spicy bean mix, and then it's got the cheese.
Oh, wow. The beans on this pizza are probably so acceptable. I bet I will not even desire real sausage after I take some prescription pills and overeat this Taco Bell style fake plastic plant cheese pizza in my smart city coffin apartment. Amazing. This is so acceptable to eat and so much more nourishing to me and the planet than real animal foods. I am not lying to myself when I say I like these Roundup fortified GMO corn tortillas from sustainable Monsanto seeds grown by the extra people in Mexico, fried in GMO soil from patented seeds grown in Brazil and processed in China. This is really so much better than a fatty steak seared in butter, or real pizza with real cheese and meat on it. I do not want to eat real animal foods. I am empowered and not starving for real nutrients. I don't think it's hypocritical that plant-based news, promoters of the #animal rebellion that wants to force the end of all animal food consumption, does sponsored recipe videos with this fake vegan cheese made by a company that makes real cheese from milk. The fake plastic plant cheese is what everyone needs to eat to save the planet. I feel good about this. I am not trying to convince myself that I enjoy this. Gas and bloating are normal and fun and cool. If I eat this way a few months more, I will stop craving real animal foods and will save the planet. Vegans don't look unhealthy and sickly, those are just the ones who are doing it wrong. Vegans who say this diet ruined their physical and mental health were never really vegan and did it wrong. We can produce more calories from plants than animals on the same amount of land if we take everyone's land and make them grow plants. Eggs are murder. Unborn human babies are just clumps of cells. I am not being deceived. I am not mentally and physically destroying myself and the world around me with this fake plastic cheese diet and toxic weaponized pop culture.
Hot, but great.
Hope you enjoyed watching that video. All of the ingredients, everything you need for all the recipes is just down there. Applewood cheese, it's out now, isn't it?
It's definitely got my vote.
Brilliant. I'm going to finish this off. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Was that bigots? Let's see. I think there are actually more bigots on YouTube this time. We got a little balance of bigots. We got some bigots on YouTube, some of the bigots on Rockfin. I'm thinking the second half we're gonna go Rockfin only. We'll see how long we can go on YouTube. We'll see how long. I think this will be a more YouTube friendly topic. Yeah, we're staying away. This isn't one of those. This is definitely not going to be able to stay on YouTube videos like the last stream. All right, so the last stream was completely removed from YouTube before it even ended. The last stream was I cut the last stream off YouTube at about 20 minutes in. I said, we're going over there to Rockfin. We can say what we want on Rockfin. No, there is zero censorship over there on Rockfin. We can say what we want, so let's go over there and finish the stream on Rockfin. I said that about 20 minutes into the stream. Before the stream on Rockfin was even complete, it was removed. Totally removed from YouTube. And they told me, if you do this again, you may get a community guidelines strike and you will not be able to stream for a whole week. You can't stream for a whole week if we give you that strike, says YouTube. So, anyways, that video was really good. And it's still up on Rockfin. You can go check it out. That video that was with Dr. Jancy Lindsay. Dr. Jancy Lindsay. Super intense. Yeah, the Ultimate Universe says that video was intense. Are you talking about the video, the intro video, or the last video we did? Because both of those were intense. Yeah, guys. All right. We're talking about the plant-based movement. The plant-based movement, which of course is absolutely not a grassroots movement, right? It's completely funded by the same big money interests that want to take away your rights to bodily autonomy. That want to take away your rights to choose what you put in your body, what you don't put in your body, if you catch my drift. Not this whole plant-based fake plastic diet is, of course, not what it's made out to be, right? You're sold on it as, this is a great way to save the planet. This is better for your health. It's better for the planet's health. Excuse me, we got all these grasses. We got the dry season coming in. These grasses are driving my nose crazy. And it's only in the afternoon, or the evening rather. One sec, I'm gonna blow my nose. All right. Yeah, I'm playing my nose like a tuba over here. But anyways, yeah, this fake plastic diet, fake plastic whacktivism, slacktivism, all these so-called animal rights activists, we've been covering this for years now. We've been going deep on this for years. Actually took a break for about the last year. And haven't really said much of anything about it because all our little friends, all our vegan activist friends that we've been going so hard on for the last, 4 years, they've all been locked down, haven't they? They've all been locked down. Protests have been made illegal in most places. All right, what great timing. As you see in that intro video, that was made in 2019, the end of 2019. 2019 brought us Greta Thunberg, brought us a huge ramping up of the propaganda about the so-called hashtag climate crisis. Oh, I want you to act like your house is on fire, said the little Spurg. How dare you? How dare you? You sit in here with your dreams of infinite economic growth. You have stolen my dreams and my childhood. How dare you? Remember that? When the whole world is laughing at little Greta? Remember when it was oh so simple? Remember when I was telling you that they're coming for your meat? That they're coming for your animal foods? That they're coming for your bodily autonomy? What have you seen in the last year? What have we seen in the last year? everything that I was saying up till then vindicated, right? I was talking about the World Economic Forum long before it became in chic to talk about the World Economic Forum, right? We were talking about the WEF, Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, you will own nothing lifestyle, the 2030 smart grid, coffin apartment, eat the bugs, live in the pod, slurp the soy kibble bigots for the planet. We were talking about this years ago. It's freaking crazy how fast this thing has accelerated over the last year. Like I'm stunned. I knew it was coming. I didn't realize it would be accelerated so quickly. We had a slow rollout for the last 10, 15 years. Over the last year, it's gone like overdrive, right? It's gone nuts. Operation Warp Speed. So yeah, it's gone Operation Warp Speed, hasn't it? All right, we've got Greta's back, guys. Greta's back. Where is she? Here she is. Oh, Greta. Greta Thunberg. Started out as a 16-year-old human shield, and now she's an 18-year-old human shield. She's a legal adult. Climate and environmental activist with Asperger's. Oh, she's got Asperger's. You can't criticize her, you guys. She has Asperger's. She's a victim. She's a victim. We all know that. Everything she says must be true. She's a victim. So, all right. Greta has put out a new call to action. Greta's handlers, right, which her parents are famous, right? Her mother is like an opera singer. Her father's an actor. They handled her, abused her by putting her in front of the international media for several years now. Used her as a human shield to protect the big money interests behind these movements, right? Giant globalist corporate interests who are pushing you to eat the kibble, give up your rights to free property, not free property, but to give up your freedoms to own property, right? Your freedom of movement, your ability to eat what you want to eat, your ability to have livestock. These people that want to feed you Beyond Meat instead. They want to feed you the GMO soy-based leg hemoglobin, right? A genetically modified iron, a genetically modified heme that's never been tested in the general population, never been tested in humans or in animals. A GMO modified iron, leg hemoglobin. They want to feed you that and tell you that your steaks are bad for the planet. Your steaks are bad for your health. We're going to feed you this untested GMO Impossible Burger instead. Now we're going to feed you patented lab-grown meat instead. We've got Greta continuing her quest to be a useful idiot for the global elite. Right? And there's nothing more evil than using children to push your agenda, is there? Nothing more evil than using children to push your agenda. Like, it's so sad. This little girl, she's 18 years old. She's clearly malnourished. Right? She was a child. Now she's a legal adult. But she's clearly eating a nutrient-deficient diet. You can see it in her face. You can see it in her lack of development, physically, emotionally, mentally. Right? And then they hide behind diagnoses, right? They say, oh, look, she's got this or that. Poor Greta, she's a victim. Yeah, she's a victim of her handlers. She's a victim of the international media that's using her as a human shield for Bill Gates, the World Economic Forum, the Rockefeller Foundation, the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, UN Agenda 2030, the IMF, the World Bank. And you can see as the years go by, her eyes get more sunk. They get more sunken. Her face was sucking, and she was looking like she was starving a few months ago. It's really sad. So yeah, Greta Thunberg, she's back. She's back on Greta's Twitter here, which I'm back on Twitter. For the first time ever, I'm on Twitter, rather. Totally not a new account that I made after getting banned It's at TRXSTXN4. That's Tristana, by the way. Because I'm a woman. I'm a trans woman. So yeah, you can find that's my new profile. Follow me on Twitter. It got deleted. My old profile got deleted. And I'm back. So Greta says, our relationship with nature is broken. But relationships can change when we protect nature. We are nature protecting itself. Oh, that's so deep, Greta. We are nature protecting itself. We are experiencing itself. We are all one. We are all one. We are nature protecting itself. So we must get rid of ourselves to protect the nature from ourselves who shouldn't exist because there are too many of us, because we should stop breathing, because we make nature so sad when we breathe. Oh, so we have to get rid of ourselves. Yes, it's for Nature Biodiversity Day, Greta. Good little human shield, Greta.
There's something I would like to talk about.
Oh, we know.
Our relationship with nature is broken, but relationships can change. The climate crisis, ecological crisis, and health crisis, they are all interlinked. We no longer see the links between them. We only see this far. So what will we do?
All right, so there's so much to unpack already, isn't there? Our relationship with nature is broken. Oh, this little girl travels the world in yachts, travels the world in jets, goes to Davos and talks to the global elite about, oh, you must save the planet from the evil people who won't stop breathing. There's too much carbon dioxide. You have to put a price on carbon. Oh, you have to do what the billionaires like Elon Musk and Bill Gates are saying we have to do. You have to do exactly what the IMF says you must do to save the planet. So our relationship with nature is broken, right? People's natural desire to live a life that's connected, right, to each other, to the world around them. Yeah, we have been disconnected from each other, from reality, from God, by the worldview that's fed to us by the weaponized toxic pop culture that's using you as a human shield to do a bait and switch and tell people that, oh, you're going to save the planet by supporting this agenda, when really this agenda is built by, pushed by, written by, schemed by the very transnational corporations and banks that have done the most environmental destruction, that have been responsible for pit mining, right? Who want to bring about the fourth industrial revolution to get you all connected via wireless devices to a total control grid with complete control, tracking and tracing of everything, and attacks on your exhalations, attacks on your farts. They want to tax your breath. Oh, but it's so sustainable. Oh, it's so good for the planet. It's so good for the planet, says Greta. Oh, I want you to act like your house is on fire. And chant empty slogans given to you by PR firms in the streets. We want climate action now. Oh, take climate action now. We want to pay more for fuel now. We want the price of food to double in the third world so people starve now. So this is the solution, right? It's a carbon tax. Oh, we have to put a price on carbon. We have to all give up our animals and give up our land. And so, we're so disconnected from nature. And here's the best part is
our
this.
relationship with nature
The best part's coming up. This is my favorite part.
But relationships can change.
Look at her hands. This poor girl, this poor child is not just being abused on the mental and emotional level. She's had her childhood stolen by her parents, who sold her to be a human shield, to be a human shield for the global elite. But also, look at her development stunted from the nutrient-deficient vegan diet that they've got her on. This girl's eating nothing but processed, highly refined junk food. This chick's malnourished. She is not getting enough protein and animal fat. She's not eating the only foods that you require.
That's racism, man.
Whoa.
I love to racism, bro.
She's not eating the only foods that you require to develop the central nervous system. The only foods that you can get: vitamin D, vitamin K2, vitamin A, the retinol form of vitamin A, the fat-soluble vitamins that you require. She's not eating the foods that the human body needs to develop a central nervous system. Those are animal foods. She's avoiding those to save the planet, right? Aaron Burrows donated. Look at that. Aaron Burrows stepping up. Aaron, the big black dude, our resident BIPOC. Aaron, the big black dude. He's the only supporter so far via Streamlabs. What's up with you bigots? What's up with you bigots on YouTube? Are you not entertained? If you guys like the stream, support the stream. Be like Aaron. Support the stream, guys. Thank you, Aaron. It says, keep it up, brother. You bigots support the dang stream. Gay F words. we're on YouTube. Even though that is technically, that word is my preferred pronoun. Okay? It's my preferred pronoun for myself and for other people. You're not supposed to say faggot very much on YouTube. You have to say it really quickly in passing. Thank you, Aaron Burrows. Aaron Burrows bringing the spicy comments over here. Thank you, dude. Where's the rest of the supporters over there? We got, oh, there we go. We got the Rockfin crew is supporting. Mick Ale on Rockfin. What's up, Mick Ale? Mick Ale on Rockfin donated $20. Tip $20. Says Gretard Looney Tune Berg needs to eat a steak and cut her chains from her UNESCO handlers. That's right, UNESCO. Right? Who started UNESCO? Julian Huxley. Julian Huxley, the guy that coined the term transhumanism, started UNESCO. Now, we've been talking about this for years. Finally, other people in the alt media are actually starting to talk about this as well. The Huxley family, deeply involved in bringing about transhumanism, bringing about the modern worldview of Darwinism, which naturally leads you to transhumanism. Right? This is a culture built on nihilism. Dickie Goodman says, it won't let tip. You can't tip on YouTube. Dickie Goodman, here's the Streamlabs tip is right here. Boom. I put the link in there. If you guys want to tip, Streamlabs link is in the chat. Here, I'll pin it. How about that? I'm going to replace the top pinned message. Also, pull up a tab, go over there on Rockfin as well. We might do second half Rockfin only. What we've been doing most of these streams is been doing first half YouTube and Rockfin, second half Rockfin exclusive. We're trying to get more you bigots over there on Rockfin. I know some of you are reluctant, but what's cool is Rockfin does not give us community guideline strikes. They don't throttle the streams like YouTube does, right? All our streams used to have like 200 viewers. We don't even have 100 today. These are so throttled. Every time you do something that YouTube puts you on the naughty list for, you get throttled like crazy. So there you go. There's the Streamlabs link for the YouTube watchers. If you're on Rockfin, thank you very much for the support. Thank you for subscribing on Rockfin, guys. And thank you for the tips. The top tip. There you go. Angel Orta says, love it here on Rockfin. Mick Ailes on Rockfin. Alaric over there on Rockfin. Leanne Baylor on Rockfin. What's up, guys? The Rockfin crew stepping in. Rockfin crew checking in. You guys are awesome. Ooh, my nose is all stuffy. It's right when the sun goes down. In this like dry season, we get all the grass blossoms, and we get tons of freaking pollen everywhere. Ay, 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 ay. So anyways, thank you guys who support. Thank you guys on Rockfin who subscribe. Thank you guys on YouTube who support. Pull up the stream on Rockfin over there. Pull up a tab on Rockfin. Get on that Rockfin, y'all. Liberty Prime says YouTube has an AI system that detects blacklisted words and shadow bans streams. Yes, of course it does. Of course it does. Not just streams, but entire channels. And our channel has been on that blacklist for almost 3 years now. we were getting like 2,000 to 3,000 new subscribers every month. And then one of those adpocalypse hit and we just got, they just cut us off. They take away about 500 subs every month now. Anyways, Leanne Baylor tipped $5 over there on Rockfin. Thank you, Leanne. The Rockfin crew is awesome. You guys are great. Thank you guys for supporting the streams. Everybody who supports via the Streamlabs, like Aaron Burrows, thank you as well. All right, here we go. Back to Greta Thunberg. Look at this. Look at the little icon there, little emoji of a melting planet. The planet's melting.
Crisis and health crisis.
Here you go.
The climate crisis, ecological crisis, and health crisis, they are all interlinked.
They're all interlinked, right? It's all connected. We're all one. And look who's at the center. At the center of this satanic trinity of the climate crisis, the health crisis, and the ecological crisis is Greta, the model global citizen, an abused child, used as a human shield for an agenda that she doesn't truly understand, sold to the global elite by her parents, thrust before the media to be an unquestionable expert, right? She's an expert. The science is settled. We have to do everything that the TV tells us to do to save the planet. And they're all linked. All the crises are linked. What did I tell you from the beginning? What did I tell you? All these crises always require the same solution. And what is the solution? Global government, a technocratic order, a new economic order, where the entire world is brought into order, a false order, a new false order, an illusory order of technocratic control over all resources, over all human movement, and ultimately of human breeding, of your ability to communicate with each other. They want that intermediated by a global state, a global corporate government dictatorship run by international finance, the Fortune 100 companies who have consolidated all of the resources globally, who have bought off the politicians through either money or blackmail, through money, through blackmail, and through illusion and delusion, through strong delusions that they capture in the imagination of the world, the vain imagination of the world, and the vain imagination of little children like Greta who think that they're saving the world. But truly what they're really ushering in is something so horrendous, so dehumanizing, so beastly, that if they really knew what they were doing, if they truly knew what they were doing, they wouldn't be involved in this. Right? It's like a forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do sort of a thing. Most of these people have no idea what they're truly involved in and engaged in. They get blinded by pride. They get blinded by the illusion that they are something special. Right? The illusion that they're saving the planet, this God complex. They get blinded by it. And they get pushed into pushing a dehumanizing system. This dehumanizing system that seeks to control all resources, all movement, and all of humanity, and create a new global order, a carbon credit system, a social credit system of behaviorist control of all human beings, the tracking and tracing of all life on this planet, and the quantification of everything, the taxing of your exhalations, the labeling of you and your children as environmental toxins. That's what this is about. This is what I've been harping on about for years now, and here it is. Here it is. You even had, didn't Project Veritas reveal recently that a CNN correspondent had they had some like behind the scenes footage, I guess, of a CNN correspondent admitting that they're transferring all of the momentum and all the fear and all the propaganda that they had about the the health crisis, we'll call it, because we're on YouTube right now too. Right? All the coof energy is going to be transferred into the climate crisis. And this is what Klaus Schwab said. All of the fears, all of the energy that is going towards this current pandemic crisis will be shifted to the climate crisis. Because this is what it's about. It's about using fear for social control. I mean, it's a truly demonic agenda. Right? Because God doesn't use fear to control man. God doesn't use lies to control. Right? This is ultimately a Luciferian satanic world order that's being created. It's subverting everything, every aspect of your life, to bow down to an illusion, to bow down before this beastly illusion that you're going to be saved by just submitting to the experts of the science. All right, you're going to die unless you do everything that the science says. Put what the science says into your body, whether it be from an Impossible Burger and a Beyond Burger, or a happy, healthy syringe given to you by a pharmacist at Walgreens. All right, given to you by a pharmacist at Walgreens, the pharmacist who has no idea what's in that shot. But don't worry, we're going to make you, you're going to live forever. You're going to be superhumans. You're going to be like X-Men, in fact. You're going to be like Magneto. It's cruel. It's whack. It's insane. I mean, what else can we say? So anyways, let's back to Greta. We got a super chat though from Dickie Goodman. Dickie Goodman joining Aaron Burrows. Guys, remember the top supporter via Streamlabs on YouTube. We'll pick one from YouTube and one from Rockfin. How about that? All right, the top tip on Rockfin and the top tip via Streamlabs on YouTube. We're opening it up. It's a competition now, guys. The biggest donation, you are gonna win. Just wait. I think some of you guys know what's coming. You're gonna win free Pfizer Corona shots for life. For life. Every 6 months, for life. Free shots from the state. You're going to win. Or you'll win 1,000 carbon credits. Right? That's equal to like an entire hamburger. Right? That's equal to your entire year worth of hamburger allotments from the World Economic Forum. So make sure to support. Just like Dickie Goodman, thank you for that super chat, dude. Thank you for that super chat via Streamlabs. Dickie Goodman is the number 2 bigot so far. All right, so back to Greta.
We no longer see the links between them. We only see this far. So what will we do? My name is Greta Thunberg. And
Greta Thunberg. My name is Greta Thunberg. They're like, really sell the accent there, Greta. Listen, Greta, Americans are fucking idiots. And the thicker your accent is, the more truth they attribute to the bullshit words that come from your mouth. So go ahead and just really think of that accent when you say your name there, little Greta. Look at this poor little girl. She's never been around animals like this in her life. All right, this is what we do every day. This is what we do every day. Like, we're taking care of sheep, cows, ducks, chickens, pigs. One dog. Doesn't even give us food, just eats all our food, right? But no, this child, look at her. She's amazed that she's around these goats, right? The people that she's trying to destroy are the ones that take care of these animals, are the ones that use these animals to feed their communities locally. Right, those goats right there, just a few goats, if properly cared for, if rotated on pasture correctly, can regenerate soil, can provide food for an entire family, carbohydrates, fat, and protein, the most vital, easily digested nutrients in their most easily assimilable form, which comes in animal foods. That's where the most easily assimilable and digestible foods that we require, those come from animals. And that's what you can do. You can feed your family with that. But no, I don't know, I haven't seen this video yet. But I guarantee she's going to say, we need to protect nature. Oh, we need to take the evil farmers that's destroying the planet. They're putting CO2 into the atmosphere. They're releasing carbon. Oh, the carbon from the evil farmers. This child has no idea how to care for animals. She's at a petting zoo right now. She's at a petting zoo. People like us actually care for animals, actually feed our families and our communities using animals, using locally produced resources. Little Greta's trying to transition you into using plant-based kibble, food that comes from factories, food that's grown using drones, using pesticides and insecticides, using GMO modified seeds that kill themselves, seeds that are sterile, just like the people that they've been programming to sterilize themselves willingly, right? Oh, get a vasectomy for the planet. All these vegans getting vasectomies for the planet. Right? You can't truly be a vegan until you've gone through the sacred rite, the sacred ritual of vasectomy. These people have no idea how to care for animals. And their solution is actually full genocide of these animals and the removal of rural people from their land on behalf of the big foundations like the Rockefeller Foundation, the Carnegie Endowment, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Bill Gates has been buying up all the farmland as he's been engineering the economic crisis through lockdowns, through shutting down the economy, through the destroying of distribution chains and supply chains to shut down small family farms and then buy up their land dirt cheap. That's who she represents. And she doesn't know this poor little girl. She's just a malnourished, gray-skinned, pale child, an 18-year-old child. She's a legal adult. But when I was 18, I was an ignorant child. And that's what she is. But she's here to sell this to ignorant, childlike people, whether they be actual children, her age and younger, or adults, right? Adults are vulnerable to this propaganda as well.
Is Greta Thunberg, and I would like to connect the dots. My name is Greta Thunberg, and I will do. My name is Greta Thunberg, and I would like to connect the dots. Because let's face it, if we don't change, we are f***ed.
Oh, she's 18 now. Ooh, Greta! Dropping that bleeped out F-bomb. Ooh, Greta. Greta done growed up. Greta done growed up dropping F-bombs. Come on. If we don't change to what? See, it's always vague things. It's always basically speaking in emojis, right? I want you to act like your house is on fire. We want climate action now. But there's no real call to action. It's just, we have to change. We need change, right? It's laying out the red carpet so that the MacArthur Foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation can give you the cues and actually give you the real agenda and tell you what to do. This is about emotionally capturing the audience. Emotionally capturing you. So that then these big foundations can give you the agenda. That's always been the case, right? The agenda, which is you're going to live in a pod, you're going to eat the bugs, and you're going to pay a carbon tax. That's what they want.
If we don't change, we are f***ed. Millions.
Yeah, the emojis. Oh, look, she got the face diaper. Oh, you can take the mask off if you eat the kibble, bigots. If we don't change, we are fucked. Wear your mask and eat your Beyond Meat. Look at this.
Millions have died from COVID-19, Zika, Ebola.
And it's like they choose these dead-eyed people, black eyes, right? And big bags under their eyes, looking haggard, looking spiritually drained, with zero real conviction. They have to flower it up with the music. Right? You gotta have like the Bon Iver music in the background, like the emotional. Oh, it's emotionally charged. Listen to that drum, boo, 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 like your heartbeat, boo, 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 boo. Because if it was just her speaking, there's nothing there. It's empty. It's empty words. It's slogans.
Zika, Ebola, West Nile fever, SARS, MERS. Up to 75% of all new diseases come from other animals.
There you go. Oh, the diseases. So this is a total lie, right? This is what they're trying to push, though, and this is what they're going to push next. Oh, it's I thought it was going to be a more lighthearted stream, but it goes heavy sometimes. This is what it's about. It's about taking away your livestock. Oh, if you have chickens, you're going to get diseases. If you're allowed to have goats and sheep and cows, you're going to get the mad cow disease.
Because of the way we farm and treat nature, cutting down forests and destroying habitats.
Yeah, which is exactly what the companies that are pushing you to push this bullshit are doing in order to fuel the fourth industrial revolution. Do you know where lithium comes from? Do you know where cobalt comes from for the batteries and all the tech devices that they want to put in the hands of every single third world child in order to get them on a digitized education run by a centralized global control structure? The fourth industrial revolution that wants to connect everything via chips in everything, right? Tracking and tracing of all livestock, tracking and tracing of everything. Of everything. Tracking and tracing of all your resources, right? From seed to table, they want to track that food. Do you know what that requires? It requires lithium. It requires cobalt. Cobalt's mined by child slaves in Africa. Lithium, the biggest lithium reserves are in Bolivia, where you just had an attempted coup on behalf of the U.S. State Department, backing a right-wing dictatorship, trying to overthrow the government over there. Not that Evo Morales and his government are saintly or anything like that, but we did see an attempted coup. Elon Musk even bragging with hubris on Twitter saying, we'll overthrow whatever government we want. You know, he was joking, he deleted the tweet. Yeah, but that's where lithium comes from Bolivia. Pit mines in Bolivia. Child slaves in Africa. That's where you get the resources for the fourth industrial revolution. Mick Ale says, demonically possessed black-eyed puppets only bump to Sigur Rós and Bon Iver. You have to instill some fake emotion behind, like, you know, the dead-eyed puppets that they get out here to push these agendas. Because without the music, there's nothing there. There's nothing there without the emotional music.
We are creating the perfect conditions for diseases to spill over
from
one animal to another and to us.
And to us. Oh, look at the mask. You wouldn't have to wear the mask if you were all just vegan.
The next pandemic could be much, much worse. But we can change.
And look at... Oh, look how... she's the size of my 9-year-old child. She's the size of my 9-year-old child. This is so sad. And this is why she's selected. This is why she's used. She's an 18-year-old who's emotionally and developmentally stunted and appears to be like a 9-year-old. It's so sad.
Change.
Oh, we can change food.
83% of the world's agricultural land is used to feed livestock.
So again, these the World Resources Institute, all these organizations have come up with these bogus stats, right? 83% of the world's agricultural land is used to feed livestock. And they're including grasslands. Grasslands and grazing lands are not usable to grow crops. The land we live on, this is basically only useful for livestock. The hills are so steep here. Sheep, goats, cows are the only thing you can use to produce food locally, unless you live down in the valley near the floodplains by the river, and then you can have plant agriculture. And yes, much plant agriculture in certain areas, the weight, if you look at it by raw weight, When you look at a crop like corn, for instance, most of that monetary gain from the corn crop is from the oil, right? It's from the vegetable oil that they derive from it, which they're saying burning vegetable oil in your car, that's good. But feeding corn to animals, that's bad, right? So they make these false statements like that. But also, the parts that the animals eat are not the parts that humans eat. So they say, oh, we grow so much food and we feed much of it to livestock. You're feeding the parts of the husks. You're feeding the parts that humans can't eat to livestock. But that's not how it is everywhere. Where we live, our animals eat nothing but grass. Our ruminants eat nothing but grass. And if they eat any crops, they're eating the husk and what you call the taraya. You call it taraya here. Like you take out the choclo, you take out the corn, or sometimes you just grind that up with it. And you put it through a forage chopper and they eat the excess, the roughage that you can do nothing with. And they turn that into a highly bioavailable compost. They turn that into a living soil microbial input. Their manure that regenerates soil, right? And if you feed them properly and you move them around properly on the land, you regenerate your soil, you trap more carbon into the ground. Not that carbon is bad. You exhale carbon dioxide. Plants breathe carbon. Why do you think people make greenhouses? Because plants grow better in a higher carbon dioxide environment. There's a delicate balance of gases. There is this CO2-driven anthropogenic global warming thing is a complete farce. It's a complete farce, discounting so many other factors like the sun, which drive climate. And of course, completely ignoring things like geoengineering campaigns, which have been going on for decades. So they tell you, no, you're a cancer on the earth. 80% of the agricultural land is used to feed livestock, with these bullshit calculations like that. When they're counting rangelands and grazing land, which can't be used for agriculture, they're counting that as agricultural land.
Yet, livestock only provide 18% of our calories.
Oh, wow.
The way we make food.
The most, and to just break down calories, right? If you're looking at calories from carbohydrates, fat, and protein, 3 macronutrients that human beings intake. Alcohol could also be considered a macronutrient, but it's not like protein, carbohydrates, and fat. Your body can also burn alcohol. I know some people always throw it, well, hey, those aren't the only macronutrients. Your body can also burn alcohol as a fuel. You got 3 macronutrients: protein, fat, carbs. Carbohydrates and fat can be used for fuel. Carbohydrates are not essential. Fat is essential. There are essential fatty acids, essential amino acids. Your body needs protein. Your body needs fat. To build a proper central nervous system, you need fat-soluble vitamins. You need protein. You need fat. You don't need carbohydrate. She's saying, oh, only 18% of our calories come from animals. Yeah, that's because you've been brainwashed into eating a corn-based and soy-based diet, and that's why you're so malnourished. That's why you look like you do, and most Americans look like they do. Right? That's why you look like a malnourished little vegan, and most Americans look like obese, Jabba the Hutt-esque metabolic messes. And because most of their calories are coming from plants, plant oils, and nutrient-deficient foods, they're not getting the protein and the fat that they require, that bring the most satiety, and that your body actually requires for health. Not all calories are created equal. Calories from grass-fed beef, calories from ruminant animals, like the food you see on the left-hand side, that sheep, that is going to give you everything your body needs to survive. The tomatoes and the spinach and whatever you see there on the right, all the plant-based things, that's a bunch of stuff you don't need. That's a bunch of indigestible fiber. That's a bunch of stuff that your body might be able to digest if you're lucky, if you haven't had your gut destroyed by all the injections, by all the antibiotics, by all the glyphosate that's sprayed on all this corn and soy that you're eating in your diet, by all the vegetable oil that uses toxic solvents like hexane to extract from the plants. If you haven't already had your gut so destroyed that you can't digest those foods, that's cool. You might be able to digest some of those calories, but none of that is essential nutrients. You might get some vitamins and minerals in there, but you get everything you need from the animal on the left-hand side. And you can live exclusively off of animal foods without the need for any supplementation at all. You cannot live exclusively off of plant foods unless you have a heavy supplemented diet, and even then you're still going to be deficient.
18% of our calories, the way we make food, raising animals to eat, clearing...
Again, what do you mean we? You don't raise any animals. You don't grow any food, Greta.
...land to grow food to feed those animals. If we continue, we will run out of land and food.
So back to the Malthus. Oh, we're going to run out of land and food. Oh, who's we?
It just doesn't make sense. The land requirements of meat and dairy production are equivalent to an area the size of North and South America combined. From Alaska to Tierra del Fuego.
You don't know where either of those are.
Industrialized life on Earth.
We've industrialized life on Earth. Look at this industrialized video. Look at this video. Your video is just pop culture trash. Your video, highly produced industrial propaganda, telling you to eat Beyond Meat instead. Oh, eat the Beyond Meat. You're saying animals are bad. Those are the foods that you can raise locally with nothing but local input, without having to purchase all sorts of pesticides, herbicides, without having to purchase a bunch of machines to harvest it. The diet that you propose, the diet that you supposedly eat, you sure look like you eat it, is a diet based on imported kibble, mass-produced, monocropped, GMO kibble. What the hell are you talking about, girl?
If we keep making food the way we do, we will also destroy the habitat.
They show all these cute animals. Look, you're killing all these animals if you don't eat the kibble. Eat the bugs, bigot. Or you're killing Simba. You're killing the elephants.
Of most wild plants and animals, driving countless species to extinction. This really sucks for us too.
Keeping it real, Greta.
Our life supporting system. If we lose them, we will be lost too. In the words of the United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, for too long, we have been waging a senseless and suicidal war on nature.
Look at this toad. She's... In the words of a pederast toad from the United Nations, you have to move to a smart city and eat the kibble, bigot.
For Antonio Guterres. In the words of the United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, for too long, we have been waging a senseless and suicidal war on nature. And what about the climate? We know that we need to drastically reduce our emissions starting now.
Oh.
When we think about the villains of the climate crisis, of course we picture fossil fuel companies. But
oh no, it's the small farmers who have animals. Right? What they're talking about is rural people who live in South America and Africa. That's who they want to get off their land. That's who they want to mobilize into giant slave camp gulags on behalf of transnational corporations. They want to destroy the economies of these small countries and extract the resources dirt cheap and use them for slave labor to grow GMO kibble for Monsanto. End of story. That's what it is. And that's what we're getting into today. That's what we've been documenting for years. That's why we're always giving you guys books and resources to actually read about this as well. One of the best books on this subject. And it's a quick read, right? It's a few hundred pages. What is it? About 300 pages. I guess maybe not a quick read for some people. 300 pages. Compared to other books that I've recommended, some of them are like 1,000 pages. F. William Engdahl's Seeds of Destruction. Seeds of Destruction. About the consolidation of the food supply. It's The Seeds of Destruction, The Hidden Agenda of Genetic Manipulation by F. William Engdahl. About the Rockefeller Foundation, the big money foundations who've leveraged fake science, who've taken over through the universities, who've created the agribusiness global agrochemical model through the Green Revolution, right? So they always have PR firms label these things. What's the Green Revolution? What was the Green Revolution? It was industrialized agriculture. And then that led to the Gene Revolution. And now they're trying to sell you on GMOs are going to save the planet in the fourth industrial revolution. And we're going to need to quantify every single step of the production process from seed to your stomach, and we're even going to quantify when you poop it out, right? They want you to have smart toilets that are going to measure the microbiome of your poo-poo and make sure that, you know, maybe your hormones are correct. You know, so a total controlled, vertically integrated model of agribusiness, which is a new model. This just came around post-World War II. It really ramped up in the 1970s with the Green Revolution, which was sponsored by big money influences through the Rockefeller Foundation, namely. Now they're moving into what they call the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which Klaus Schwab is the front man for. And it's still the same money, the same big money interests. So Greta's over here shilling for that, telling you that we got to eat a plant-based diet or the climate won't stop changing, right? Mommy Earth is going to kill us all. Mommy Earth's going to die. All the animals are going to die. You're big and bad and mean unless you do what the UN says.
We know that we need to drastically reduce our emissions starting now. When we think about the villains of the climate crisis, of course we picture fossil fuel companies. Agriculture and...
Remember the World Business Council for Sustainable Development that sponsors this useful idiot that pushes this climate crisis narrative is full of so-called fossil fuel companies, right? BP, Shell. These are all members of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development. Chevron. Right? They're pushing for global carbon taxes. They're pushing for plant-based diets because they vertically integrate the whole supply chain and want to create a global food distribution system of rationing.
land use together are about 1/4 of our emissions. This is huge. It doesn't have to be like this. If we change towards a plant-based diet, we could save up to 8 billion tons of CO2.
8 billion tons!
Every single year. We could feed ourselves on much less land, and nature
We could confiscate all the rural people's land and move them into smart cities and nature, and we could give it to the monkeys.
On much less land, and nature could recover. Pandemics, biodiversity, climate disruption, acidification of inequality, loss of fertile topsoil. These are all just symptoms. What they all come down to is the way we treat nature, the way we value nature. We need a system change. But we can't fix this.
System change, right? Food system change is what
because
they want.
we are part of nature. When we protect nature, we are nature protecting itself. And finally, the animals. Every year we kill more than 60 billion animals, excluding fish, whose numbers are so great that we only measure their lives by weight. We are not their thoughts and feelings.
The
Some
animals
plan for the future, forge friendships that last for decades. They play, they help each other. They show signs of what we call empathy. But 70% of the animals we farm live inside factories.
So again, the model that they want to bring about, the companies that are promoting this are the companies that created this brand new so-called factory farming system. Right? Which, look, most of the livestock, the cattle, they still feed on grass the first part of their life. They're moved to this feedlots and they're sold at auction. And then there's only 4 companies that run the meat packaging system in the U.S. Cargill is one of them. Cargill controls like 50% of the international grain trade. Cargill, we've talked about Cargill's, was it 2015 or 2016? A tabletop exercise with this, where you have global supply chain disruptions. And it results in a global carbon tax. Cargill's, was it like a food summit exercise? I forget what episode it was that we focused on that. It was a couple years back. But these big grain conglomerates, the big four meat packers in the U.S., you wouldn't have that if it weren't for the Rockefeller Foundation's creation of the Green Revolution and ultimately the GMO Revolution, which consolidated and then attempted to integrate vertically, have a vertical integration of the whole supply chain for food based on GMO corn and soy. All the pigs, all the chickens fed the GMO corn and soy, the kibble pellets, feeding them kibble pellets, an industrialized model, moving away from the small family farm model, which ends up displacing and destroying rural areas in favor of highly toxic, actual biodiversity destroying models of plant-based food production, and they want to feed you that plant-based nonsense directly. They want to feed it to you directly. They don't want to cut out the middleman. They'll say, cut out the middleman of the animals and feed the humans the corn and the soy. And they tell you, oh, it's great if we feed you this stuff. We're going to put you in factory farms, which are the smart cities. We're going to put you in there, and that's good. That's fine. That's all dandy. But it's so sad. Look at these poor animals. Look at these cows. The cows are in this feedlot. They're eating grain.
In the United States, that number is 99%.
These huge feedlots where they fatten these cows up before slaughter. This is what they want to put you in. This is like the city model, the smart city model they want to put you into. And guess what? The protein sources that you eat, they want it to be grown in laboratories, or they want it to still be this model because they say this is sustainable, right? The GMO corn and soy planted by drones, sprayed with toxic pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides, that's sustainable, they say. This is not a joke. That's sustainable. Monsanto is a member of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development. That's pushing for a global carbon tax and a plant-based food system.
Lives are short.
I mean, it sounds so ridiculous. Like, just listening to myself say this, it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. This is what is happening.
And terrible. How will we be judged?
Judged by who, Greta? How will we be judged? See, they're always using this religious language, right? They claim to be secular. They claim to be secular humanists. But this is the new religion. How will you be judged? Mother Nature will judge you. They're replacing God with Mammy Earth.
I feel 10 feet tall right now.
How will you be judged?
Who the fuck is this guy?
Aaron Burrows. Aaron Burrows donated $15. Look at that. Our local, look at that. Blue collar worker Aaron Burrows over here throwing out some awesome super chats today via Streamlabs. Look at that. You guys take note. Take note. Guys, please don't take them for granted. Be like Aaron and support the stream. So we're stoked that we got people that actually enjoy it enough to support it. We got a bunch of bigots over there on Rockfin. Hey, if you guys like it, be sure to throw some tips down, guys. Be sure to throw those tips out. That's how our channel stays alive. Share the videos, like the videos. Aaron, the big black dude, Aaron Burrows donated $15. Says, I give you my money freely because I believe God will return me with blessings untold. Money means nothing, but the sacrifice is favored by God. May God bless you and your family, brother, for all that you do. Aaron, thank you, man. I really appreciate the support, dude. You know, this channel stays alive because of you guys. You guys are our sponsors. We don't get that Greta Thunberg money. We don't get that World Business Council for Sustainable Development money. We appreciate you guys' support. Thank you guys. You guys over on the YouTube chat, I'll put the link for the Streamlabs up there. If you enjoy the streams, feel free to support via the Streamlabs. And if you're over there on Rockfin, thank you guys for supporting. Make sure to become a subscriber, and that will actually help us out. That allows us to monetize. And then, hey, if you like it, feel free to drop a tip. Drop a tip. I'll put the link for the Streamlabs in there as well. Aaron is you're the number one bigot. Aaron, you're well on your way to earning free. You're going to earn free free Pfizer shots for life, Aaron. Congratulations. You win free plant-based kibble rations in the smart city for life.
Their lives are short and terrible. how will we be judged?
How will we be judged?
It is heartbreaking to know all this, but it is also our opportunity. We know what we can do. We can change the way we farm. We can change what we eat. We can change how we treat nature. Some of us have lots of choices.
And notice how there's no real solution. She just said, oh, eat plant-based. Guess what? This is what plant-based looks like. Combine harvesters destroying habitats. Monocropped, pesticide-soaked GMO crops harvested by giant machines that thresh up all the field mice, the snakes, the voles, the moles. And they kill deer. Right, sometimes these combines, sometimes the deer will be crouching down trying to hide. These combine harvesters will go straight across them and slice their back off. Just take that back strap right off a deer. This happens all the time. They're killing just as many animals, displacing billions of animals, spraying and killing billions, trillions in fact, of insects with these pesticides. And they tell you, oh no, it's sustainable, oh, it's so good. They're destroying the world with this monocrop agriculture. And they say, oh, it's plant-based, it's good. Get rid of your animals. Give your livestock to the state. And eat the kibble, it's good for you.
Change the way we farm. We can change what we eat. We can change how we treat nature. Some of us have lots of choices.
Look how they put her in this, like, it looks like a small apartment. You know, I mean, this girl's family are millionaires. This isn't her home. This is like her little this is like a closet. That's her one of her extra refrigerators in her closet. It's probably not even her home. But they put her in this small room. Oh look, she's just like you. She's trapped in a small apartment and oh, she wants to save the planet.
While some have none at all.
Black eyes.
Those with the most power have the most responsibility. And most of us can do something. So, what will you do?
I'll tell people that you're a fucking idiot and to not listen to you, Greta. That's what I'll do. I'll tell people to not listen to this spurg and to actually raise their own animals, create local food distribution networks in their local communities that are animal-based, to regenerate soil using ruminant animals, to actually eat nourishing foods and not a bunch of shrink-wrapped, gut-destroying, nutrient-fortified GMO kibble. That's what we'll do, Greta. What will you do? You'll speak in emojis on the behalf of big money interests that tell you what to say and what to do so they can bring in a global carbon tax. That's what you'll do. We know you will, Greta. We know you will, Greta. So you got the World Economic Forum as well. Try to bring in the plant. Look at the revolutionizing the food industry through plant-based meat. Oh, it's plant-based. It's good. Look. Oops. Vegetarian mince and kebabs.
There was good on taste of meat, and my idea was how we can produce meat without animals, with the same taste, the same texture, and the same experience. People like meat.
So they just, oh, it's just the taste, it's just the texture. No, there are nutrients that you're not going to get in plant foods. Iodine, vitamin A in this retinol form, vitamin D, saturated fat, cholesterol. Cholesterol makes up your sex steroid hormones. Right, I know the World Economic Forum doesn't want you to have those either because it wants to reduce the human population. You reduce the testosterone levels, you reduce the androgen levels, you're going to reduce people's ability to procreate.
And that's what we think, what we believe. It's not necessary to live without
That's
meat.
real food. That's real food right there. That's meat. It's animal food. Animal fat and protein.
You can eat meat as much as you want. Only it is meat without the use of animals.
Which is highly processed, refined junk food.
Our main customer group that we want to surprise are actually the meat lovers. You know, that they can come enjoy our meals without thinking, oh, I miss the meat or I miss the fish. We have a sushi roll with a no mackerel fish, and it's so close to the original flavor. So a lot of people get really happy to taste that again. I can see, you know, in their reaction that they're like, wow, real nice, man. I really missed it.
Oh, wow.
Our goal is to revolutionize the food industry. And
Look how much work there is. Look how much energy and resources go into trying to make this fake shit taste like meat, when all you really need is some real meat and a little bit of fire. You don't even need the fire, right? You have some sashimi, have some carpaccio, have some tartare, some steak tartare. You don't even need to cook it. Make yourself some steak tartare. Be 1,000 times better for you physically, and actually better for the planet. It's so good for the planet. And this bullshit. Here you go. Look, source, Chatham House. That's Royal Society. The Royal Society is pushing this. The Royal Institute for International Affairs, Chatham House, World Economic Forum. That's who's behind this stuff. That's who these vegans represent. Scientists say plant-based diets are essential to save the planet. Oh, scientists say that, guys. Because much of the food we buy is destroying nature. If everyone on Earth switched to plant-based diets, 75% of the world's farmland would be freed up. Again, grazing lands, grasslands are not farmlands. These are completely different ecosystems. There used to be millions of bison in the United States. There used to be millions of ruminant animals on every continent. But the industrial model that they're trying to build is built on the backbone, is built by the same money from the robber barons that got rid of those, and so that they can put the train systems up, so they can put the train tracks, the railroads up. Now, this is what you're looking at. You're looking at robber baron money trying to fully integrate vertically the entire food distribution system globally. It's going to allow wildlife to reclaim habitat. This would also cut emissions in food systems in half. Meat and dairy account for 18% of the calories we consume, but producing them takes up 83% of the world's farmland. So look, we're already on a plant-based diet. And look at people's health. Look at the obesity rates, the cancer rates, from all these carcinogenic chemicals that you're spraying all over the foods. Well, you tell us that this is what we need to eat. Livestock also accounts for 60% of agricultural CO2 emissions. So all this, like this quantification of CO2, oh, CO2 is bad. Again, do you hear any of them talking about pesticides or herbicides? Any of them talking about the destruction that tilling can do to soil? Now, not all tilling is always bad. But this industrial model relies on heavy machinery, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about the autism rates near glyphosate-drenched fields. They don't talk about the cancer rates going up. They don't talk about why people have such bad metabolic health right now, right? Metabolic syndrome, diabetes, directly caused by the vegetable oils that people are eating instead of the animal foods that they displaced. When people were eating more animal foods, we had less cancers. We had less diabetes. People didn't know what diabetes was for the most part a couple hundred years ago. Avoiding meat and dairy is the most effective way to shrink our carbon footprint. Scientists also say we should set aside more land for nature. Again, this idea, we're going to rewild. Right? We need the plant-based meat. Look, the Israeli scientists are creating plant-based Play-Doh meat. Oh, the Play-Doh meat, it's so good for you. World Economic Forum, the Wellcome Trust, the Rockefeller Foundation, all moving you towards plant-based diets, vegan diets. Look, the Wellcome Trust, giant pharmaceutical trust out of the UK, highly involved in bringing about a lot of the global restrictions that we see in response to the pandemic crisis, we'll call it right now. The Wellcome Trust is pushing plant-based diets. Of course. Because it's about social control. It's about control of resources. It's about control of the food supply. And that's what it's always been about. That's why the Rockefeller Foundation kickstarted the Green Revolution with over $100 million worth of investment. A lot of this is documented in The Seeds of Destruction by F. William Engdahl. I like to pull out this book when we talk about this subject because this is a great primer for learning about biotech, agribusiness models that have destroyed our ability to produce our own food. And that was brought about by groups like the Rockefeller Foundation. The Rockefeller Foundation is advocating them for major changes to the U.S. food system in response to COVID-19, right? Oh, it's not the climate crisis anymore, it's COVID. A paper recently published by the Rockefeller Foundation addresses the fragility, inequality, and shortcomings of the food system while offering a roadmap for the future. The paper, Reset the Table, finds that COVID-19's impact is far-reaching, cutting across many sectors of the food system from healthcare to education. Current responses in these sectors are proven to be rigid and poorly constructed against something as multifaceted as COVID-19. With, quote, 40% of Americans unable to access US $400 even in times of emergency, and 37 million Americans already food insecure. End quote. The food system has been stretched to its limits as safety net programs struggle to meet historic demands. Leaders of industry are calling upon stakeholders, again, stakeholder capitalism as promoted by Klaus Schwab, to rise collectively. Oh, wow, we're going to rise collectively. We will rise together to ensure a transformative shift in current practices, policies, and systems to lay the foundation for a new representative and robust food system. The paper suggests 3 substantial shifts in the U.S. food system moving forward. 1, integrating a nutrition security system focusing on healthy food access. All right, like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? That means local hubs where they can distribute the global McMono kibble, the standardized food for everybody. Oh, but we're going to have, we'll have nutrition security system. No, come on. They're talking about kibble rations. 2, invigorating local and regional food chain. Reinvigorating local and regional food chains. You know what they mean by that? They mean basically you're going to have local and regional hubs like Walmart's where they'll distribute the plant-based kibble to you. They don't mean you're going to produce your own animal foods. No, they're going to get rid of that. They mean they're going to have local distribution and maybe even local production to decrease the travel that your plant-based kibble rations have to go through. And 3, building more equitable prosperity throughout the supply chain. Oh, equitable prosperity. So they always use words like this to puff up what they're doing, which is ultimately consolidating the food supply. The Real Cooter Brown donated $5, says, I don't know if you're familiar with the show Shark Tank or not, but every single food business that's been pitched to the billionaire and millionaire investors on there for at least the past season has been plant-based. It's also tiresome. That's crazy. Yeah, no, I don't really see much TV, but that makes sense. That's where the money is right now. And it's not because the money's there because there's a consumer demand for it. People don't want it. You saw when the pandemic started, the Beyond Meat, the Impossible Burgers, the fake plant-based meat rotted on the shelves, right? When there were runs on the supermarkets, people wanted real meat. They don't want Rockefeller Foundation GMO kibble. They want real meat. All right, so we got the reset the table. Reset the table. We're going to pull up the document right here. And we'll look at this in a moment. We'll finish this article real quick. To fully recognize these shifts, the Rockefeller Foundation is also calling to strengthen a set of cross-cutting capabilities that have fallen short in the food system. Some of these include applying true cost accounting. Guess what that means? Guess what that means? That means carbon accounting. True cost accounting. Here you go, they'll describe it. Considering direct and indirect costs of the food system. Indirect costs meaning the environmental, moral calculus that they're going to add onto it. investing in better emergency response plans, and unifying actors across multiple sectors to secure a collaborative movement. This is basically big agribusiness, pharmaceutical-based food companies, pharmaceutical-based food distribution, basically. Now is the moment, says the foundation. The time is now. Now is the moment, says the foundation, starting with incorporating people who represent the food system into these discussions. This includes Black, Indigenous, people of color, BIPOC, non-governmental organization leaders, and food system activists fighting for a more just, equitable, and resilient food system. The paper calls for federal, state, and local governments to come together to collaboratively create a new framework for a food system that emphasizes all sectors involved in the production, processing, and distribution of food. There you go. So, vertical integration, federal, state, local governments working with transnational corporations to create a food distribution model. They're talking about basically global McMonoculture kibble gulags for all the plebs. In its final section, the paper discusses how COVID-19 has brought to light the fragility of a food system that does not promote healthy people or a healthy planet, while disregarding many who are disproportionately affected. Oh, guess what that means? Plant-based, right? Well, healthy people, that's plant-based diets, which is complete opposite. Right? They want to malnourish you and deprive you of vital nutrients that you require for creating your central nervous system, for building your brain. Your brain's made out of cholesterol. They say cholesterol's bad. They say fat is bad. Your body stores fat as the most abundant fuel source throughout your body ubiquitously. But they tell you no, fat is bad. They tell you saturated fat from animals is bad. It's cruel, it's mean, and it's going to make your cholesterol high. Cholesterol is a building block of your steroid hormones, your sex steroid hormones, right? You wouldn't have testosterone, progesterone if you didn't have cholesterol. You can't have fertility without cholesterol. The piece focuses on the idea that there is an optimal opportunity and an obligation to fix a broken system and to ensure a brighter, sustainable future for all. How nice is that? For everyone, guys. For all of us. For all of Monsanto's little slaves. All right, so, and then of course you've got the useful idiots on the ground. You know, you got Greta Thunberg in the international media, and then you've got the vegan protesters, the vegan whacktivists on the ground. Here you go. This is in the cover image. Activists set up blockades at the burger chain's distribution hubs across the UK on Saturday, condemning the company's contribution to the climate emergency. So again, more of these fake grassroots, the animal rebellion connected with climate rebellion groups, the Extinction Rebellion groups, doing their activism, of course, all the UK papers giving them free advertisement. Contribution to the climate emergency. Environment and animal rights campaigners cut off much of McDonald's UK food chain on Saturday, with protesters blocking distribution centers and demanding that the fast food chain pledge to become meat-free. Oh, it's so grassroots. The activists said, you guys have to put Beyond Burgers in your food. You got to put the plant-based burgers because that's going to save the planet. Totally grassroots, right? Protest organizers at Animal Rebellion, which calls itself a nonviolent civil disobedience group, right? So they're giving free advertisement to these groups in the Telegraph here. Campaigning for plant-based food systems, again, one of these keywords developed through PR firms, promoted by the Rockefeller Foundation, promoted by the World Economic Forum, said about 50 protesters blocked entrances across 4 food distribution hubs. Distribution sites were affected. At some sites, protesters attached themselves to large bamboo structures they had erected. So again, this is all PR. It's agitprop. Agitation propaganda. Animal Rebellion, which calls itself a sister organization to Extinction Rebellion, said that the demonstrations began at around 4:30 a.m. on Saturday and would last at least 24 hours. So anyways, McDonald's, who McDonald's, who the people that supply their food to them are the people that benefit more and make more money off of selling you the plant-based McMonoculture McKibble. They want to sell you the kibble burgers. That's the stuff that's more profitable. They don't care. McDonald's doesn't care that they're doing this. This doesn't hurt McDonald's business. McDonald's makes more money on the plant-based burgers than on selling you animal foods. This is about big money. That's what it's about. So free advertisement, free PR given by all these media organizations. I'm going to go over here and see what's going on in the chat. What's up, guys? What's up? Bigots? All you bigots in the chat? We got the, look at that. We got a slow day for tips today, but that's fine. It happens. It happens. You guys, if you enjoy the streams, please don't take them for granted, guys. Please feel free to support via the Streamlabs if you're watching on YouTube. We're going to transfer over to Rockfin exclusively soon. We do the second half just on Rockfin. We'll check out this video with this stranded walrus in front of McDonald's. I don't know how they transported this white walrus into the protest. So I'm impressed. I am impressed. So yeah, we're live on YouTube right now. I'm gonna put the link. The link is actually in the description already. Second half is gonna be uncensored, just on Rockfin. You guys make sure to pull up a tab on Rockfin over there. You make a free account. You can watch for free while we're live. Later on, we're gonna put this on. We're gonna put this as. This will be part of our exclusive content over there on Rockfin. So yeah. Oh, I just whacked my knee on a chair. I got a dead leg now. But at least my nose is cleared up. My nose feels better. All right, guys. Thank you for the support over there on YouTube. We're going to go over there to Rockfin in about 10 minutes. Let's check out the, you got the independent.ie, giving some free PR. We need a plant-based diet. Activists block McDonald's UK.
I'm locked on outside the McDonald's distribution. So I'm locked on outside the McDonald's distribution centre in Coventry, and yeah, this feels like the absolute right thing to do. I'm absolutely thrilled that we've managed to do this today because you know what's going on at the moment. What McDonald's are doing is absolutely horrendous. Like we have got.
She's laying. All right, she's got a plastic space blanket, laying with a bunch of polyester pillows. Right, this person consumes the diet that could feed both of my children. Require less. Both of my children and my wife combined eat less than her every day. And she's got a giant metal drum there, just caked out in plastic. And she's laying on the ground in front of McDonald's. This is activism, guys.
Coventry, and yeah, this feels like the absolute right thing to do. I'm absolutely thrilled that we've managed to.
This is the right thing to do
because you know what's going on at the moment. What McDonald's are doing is absolutely horrendous. Like we're in the middle of a climate and ecological emergency, and we're still consuming.
Dude, she's laying in the middle of the street, in between cat naps, looking like a hobo. And this is absolutely the right thing to do. We're in the middle of an emergency. We need to all take a nap in front of McDonald's. We need to all get some space blankets. We all get our plastic space blankets and bring our Pokemon pillows and hey, bring your Nintendo Switches out and set up some TVs out here. Have a Have a little powwow and take some cat naps in front of McDonald's for the climate.
We're in the middle of a climate and ecological emergency, and we're still consuming huge quantities of meat on a scale that is just not sustainable for our planet. And
we're still consuming huge quantities of meat on a scale that's just not sustainable. The irony. Oh, the irony. You guys, we need to take take her advice, you guys. You're consuming too much meat. Okay, this woman clearly knows how much food you should be able to consume, and you're consuming way too much of those animal foods. If you had just consumed plant foods, you'd be healthy like her, mentally and physically, and the climate would stop changing. Okay, she wouldn't need that space blanket. She could just lay there in her North Face jacket.
We need to be having a diet that is plant-based and is not reliant on industrial farming, not reliant on the suffering of animals and the exploitation of workers. We need a diet in which people can just be able to eat without inflicting pain upon others.
Or working. Where people can eat without having to work or inflict pain upon others by making them work. How many days of honest work do you think this lovely young lady has done in her life? This is the fucking best. Animal rights protesters are blockading 4 UK distribution centers for McDonald's, which they say will impact roughly 1,300 restaurants. Footage from Coventry. So they give free advertisements to all these people, right? And there's zero coverage of the anti-lockdown protests, right? Zero coverage at all of that. But no, this girl, this poor young lady, she needs plant-based kibble.
Hurting animals from McDonald's. Share this song and change your entire menu to be vegan from now on.
The Guardian. Remember, we looked at the Guardian, who have taken massive amounts of money from the likes of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Also, last year they got almost $1 million for the quote, to support journalism on factory farming and animal cruelty. They got this giant donation from the Open Philanthropy Foundation. openphilanthropy.org. You can look at their contributions there. The articles that they're always running, such as the COVID-19 pandemic shows we must transform the global food system. From The Guardian, our global profit-driven, meat-centered food system is making us sick. We need a radical rethink. So they get paid to put this stuff out, and of course, here they are.
Trucks which won't be leaving today. We've shut the whole place down, and not only that, we've shut down distribution centers across the country.
Make destruction. Animal rights activists have blockaded 4 McDonald's distribution centers across the UK. Oh, look how grassroots. The group wants McDonald's to commit to becoming fully plant-based by 2025. They interviewed the same chick.
We're in the middle of a climate and ecological emergency.
So the Guardian and the Telegraph both using the same footage.
Quantities of meat on a scale that is just not sustainable for our planet.
Okay, they're all taking naps, all with plastic blankets, building these.
We're here today to demand that McDonald's go plant-based immediately, not just in the future, not just one day when it becomes inevitable. We're here to tell them that they need to change now. The time for change is now.
The time for change is now. I don't know if you guys got that. The time is now. All right, you guys watching on YouTube? What's up, bigots on YouTube? We're going to jump over there to Rockfin. We're going to finish up on Rockfin. Remember, you guys, we've been moving a lot of our content over there where it is not censored, where it is not shadow banned. We've been highly shadow banned and censored over here on YouTube for several years now. And it is what it is, right? Google, another one of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development business members, Google also invested in plant-based meats. Google, who owns YouTube. And of course, you know, we've been naughty. We've been talking about, we've been saying the wrong things about about all these crises that we've been sold. We've been saying the wrong things about all these crises, the climate crisis, the health crisis. And we've been helping people actually get healthy over here for years. Pull up a tab on Rockfin, guys. We're going over there just to Rockfin. Make sure to support, become a subscriber over there on Rockfin, and that actually helps us. We can actually monetize there. You notice there's no Streamlabs here. There's no monetization on this channel on YouTube. Of course, YouTube will still sell ads on it. But we can actually monetize over there on Rockfin. You guys will actually get notified over there. So jump on over to Rockfin. Second half is exclusively over there. We're going to save the planet, guys. We're just save the planet with the vegan whacktivists. So yeah, we'll take a quick intermission, and we'll be over there on Rockfin exclusively. Thank you guys for watching on YouTube. Share the videos, like the videos. Link is in the description. Second half is uncensored exclusively on Rockfin. Link is also, I'm going to pin it right now. Pinned message, I'll pin it up there at the top. Pinned message at the top of the live chat is a link to the Rockfin stream. Go over there. We'll see you there in a minute, guys.
Take